Sofia and Obiora's love story began on TikTok. It started with simple likes, then comments, and soon, they were deep in each other's DMs. Obiora was living in Germany, and his words dripped with charm. He showered her with compliments, calling her his African queen. From TikTok, they moved to WhatsApp. Calls stretched late into the night, their laughter blending with the soft hum of the city around Sofia. She had never met a man who made her feel so special. Obiora didn't just talk, he acted. He bought her an iPhone 16, paid her rent, and ensured she had enough for her upkeep. Sofia, who once saw him as just another online admirer, found herself falling hard. It wasn't just about the money. Obiora made her feel wanted, adored. But then came the request, constant video calls, late-night conversations about what she was wearing. "Let me see your nightwear," Obiora would say, voice deep and persuasive. "Wow, it looks good on you. How much did you buy it?" Once she mentioned the price, he'd promised to send the money. Every intimate moment, every shared secret made their bond stronger. They had phone sex regularly, discussing every position, every fantasy. Obiora was convinced that Sofia would be his perfect match in bed. After a year of this virtual romance, he decided it was time to meet. When Obiora returned from Germany, he scheduled a date with Sofia. Seeing him in person for the first time, she was mesmerized. Odogwu Obiora was even more handsome than she imagined. He was tall, confident, and rich, everything she had dreamed of. At dinner, Obiora went down on one knee and proposed. Without hesitation, Sofia said yes. A grand wedding followed, attended by her proud parents, friends, and Obiora's wealthy associates from Germany. Her friends whispered in awe. "Oh, where did Sofia find this rich, handsome man? God, abeg, we need an Odogwu like Obiora." Oh. The joy was overwhelming, and Sofia felt like the luckiest woman alive. 2 weeks into the marriage, Sofia's fairy tale began to crumble. Obiora wouldn't let her rest. Day and night, he demanded her body. What she thought was newlywed passion quickly turned into something terrifying. "Baby, it's just because we're married now. Give it time," she told herself. But days turned into weeks, weeks into months. 3 months in, and Obiora's urges only increased. His touch, once exciting, became exhausting. Sofia, once a vibrant, curvy beauty, now looked drained, her body weak, her spirit shattered. She called her mother for advice, hoping for a solution. "Always listen to and satisfy your husband," her mother said sternly. "That's why you're his wife. Would you prefer he does it outside? Hold your husband well and stop complaining." Sofia wanted to scream. Didn't they understand? This wasn't normal. Obiora's addiction didn't stop, not even when Sofia got pregnant. She hoped the pregnancy would slow him down, but he was relentless. He demanded her every single night, even when she was nauseous, even when she begged for rest. He saw her exhaustion as an inconvenience, a problem she needed to overcome. She would wake up sore, barely able to move, yet Obiora showed no concern. He would simply turn over and go about his day, expecting her to be available again when he returned. One evening, after another intense session that left her barely able to stand, Sofia felt a stabbing pain in her stomach. She doubled over, clutching her belly, sweat dripping down her face. The pain intensified, and soon she was gasping for air. Obiora, annoyed at the interruption, simply said, "Rest more, you will be fine." But she wasn't fine. The bleeding started shortly after. Panic gripped her as she called for help, her voice shaking. Obiora finally realized something was wrong and rushed her to the hospital. The doctor's words shattered her world: "You've lost the pregnancy. Because of too much stress and too much sex." Sofia lay in the hospital bed, her body numb, her mind racing. The child she had carried, the little life inside her, was gone. Her mother came to see her, shaking her head as if she had been expecting it. "Sofia, be strong. You will have another baby. Just go home and take care of your husband." Sofia stared at her mother, disbelief washing over her. Even now, after everything, she was still expected to endure. To stay. That night, lying in the hospital bed, she made her decision. She couldn't do this anymore. She wouldn't. When she returned home, she quietly packed her bags. There was no shouting, no confrontation. She simply left. Sofia filed for separation. Obiora was enraged. He pleaded, he threatened, he even tried to bribe her parents to force her back. But she stood firm. Months later, the court granted her request. Finally, she was free. The first few weeks were filled with emptiness. She had spent so much time surviving that she had forgotten what peace felt like. Nights were the hardest. She would wake up expecting the suffocating weight of Obiora beside her, only to remember she was alone. Alone, but safe. Then, one day, the whispers began. "Have you heard? Obiora has impregnated 2 women already. Oh. That man no dey tire." Sofia laughed bitterly. He hadn't changed. His addiction had simply moved to new victims. Sitting by her window, she watched the sunset and sighed. Knowing someone online wasn't enough to marry them. Online life was different from real life. She had learned that the hard way. But she was still standing. And for the first time in years, she felt hope.